up, YouTube? This is Strident. Today we're gonna talk about comics. I know a lot of you guys, you hear me complain and bitch and moan about comics, but I was really inspired by a lot of comics, but mostly DC. I've been reading comics since I was a kid. I'm a superhero fanatic, and it's all because of the Justice League. There's too much you can say about these characters. Some people complain that they're too powerful. Some people complain that they're overexposed, but it doesn't matter. These characters are household names. Just there's something about the fact that they stand for something more than just the average, cool-looking hero. Superman's a household name. There's no kid on the planet who doesn't know who he is. Same thing with Batman, especially right now. But anyway, this kind of sparked my love for superheroes, and it led me to create my own universe, and that's called War of the Gods. And War of the Gods is my love letter to old school superhero comics, and it is under my own imprint, which is Insane Inc. This is a nickname I got when I was in college at the School of Visual Arts. My teachers called me crazy because whenever we were put in team situations, I'd end up doing all the work, and sometimes I'd gladly do it. And that's like 10 times the work for one person. They said I was insane to do it, and it stuck. Anyway, this cover is for The Art of War. This was it was a preview book I did in 2006 at the Wizard World Chicago, and it sold out in 2 days. Pretty much this was, as most preview books are, just a chance to, test the waters and let people see what I was thinking, see the design, see if they're feeling the characters just based on their look and a brief description. And it seemed like people were feeling it. A lot of famous people. Ray Park bought one of my books. So anyway, since then I've been busy, real busy. 2 months ago, issue 1 dropped, and I'm really happy with the end result. I just need to spread the word, which is why I'm up here on YouTube promoting my comic. Now, a lot of things have changed since The Art of War. Pretty much I went in a new direction with many of the characters, but it's all original. The story is going to be told over 3 arcs, which are 12 issues each. So you've got a 36-issue proposed story. The first arc is in the present, and it deals with, the world kind of after an absence of superheroes and the way people look at the idea of a superhero in general. People just, it's badass for you to carry a gun, but it's not badass for you to want to save your fellow man. It's badass for you to be a anti-hero, but it's not badass for you to stand for an ideal. Anyway, that's where you're gonna start. Issue 1 starts with all that stuff. The second arc is it's the age when they were brand new and people were like, holy crap, there's superheroes, who are these guys? It's awesome that they want to help us, and they were so awesome and mysterious, but at the same time many of them were so warm and cool that it was just like, people were just, amazed to have them and enamored with them, They're like kind of like in the public eye, they're sweethearts, It ends in tragedy though. The first age pretty much ends with this cataclysmic battle between the Superman archetype character of our story And after you get stopped, you're going to be forced to work with them anyway. So many of the heroes kind of quit. Some of them figured I can do better if I work with them. And you ended up with the USPF, the United Superhuman Police Force, and they enforced that law. The main heroes that did manage to survive, they disappeared. Many of them died in that battle, but they disappeared. The arc that we're working on right now, which is issue 1 just released 2 months ago, begins with 2 main characters. Griffin, which is who you see here. He is a bounty hunter, badass bounty hunter, and Strident, who you've seen on my intro a million times. They are pretty much the two, the one's the happy-go-lucky, asshole type. The other one's the dark, brooding type. And then you have Avatar. Avatar is the current, warrior. Well, she's not really a warrior. She's the goody-good. Put it like that. Anyway, Griffin is a bounty hunter, and he thinks he is the shit. He is probably, at the time, the best bounty hunter in the world. He's accurate, he's strong, he's fast, he's pretty resilient, and he always gets what he is paid to get, or who he's paid to get, or whatever. He always succeeds at his missions. You're not going to like Griffin. I mean, maybe some of you will, but he's an asshole, and that's the point. No one understands why he's so good. He just thinks he's just good because that's who he is. But as the story progresses, you will find out he does have powers, but they're just slowly, very, 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 very slowly manifesting. And this pisses off a lot of people. The other main character, Strident, like I said before, he is the yin to to Griffin's yang. Pretty much, or he's the dark one. He comes into this a different way. He gets the sword, inherits the sword of the original Strident, and pretty much gets his mission. His abilities they kind of come from his suit. And his suit of armor kind of gives him focus powers, like in the Matrix. So if he can will himself to do it, he can do it. And he's the martial artist of the group. And he's a swordsman as well. So his powers are all kind of like kung fu based, he's like a living kung fu movie character. He can run on the air, he can, jump super high in the air, he can do moves that the technique will send you flying across the room as if he has super strength, but it's a technique, it's not his own strength, essentially. It's the way he did what he did. Anyway, he is the hardcore, dark, a lot of people are afraid of him, and he's from New Jersey. Represent. He is the Jersey Devil. That's what they call him. His sword is mystical in nature, and since he's a swordsman, when he pulls that sword out, that's your ass. It's pretty much, a done deal. Lastly, we have Avatar. Avatar is pretty much the goody-good of the series. She's the girl that you see standing next to him. This one right here. She is the nicest, most pure-hearted character in the series, and she aids the other heroes in the story. All these heroes have to unite against a villain from the past, and that villain is he figures out who they are, and he's been watching them, and he's planning on taking them down. So they have to unite and work together to actually beat this guy and uncover the conspiracy behind the United Superhuman Police Force. As you guys can see, we've got a pretty decent web spun for this story, for this comic, this project. Hopefully, people will get into this because they're going to see that the archetypes in this are a little different from the ones you've seen before. I mean, we put spins on all of them. It'll be cool to see that the stereotypes aren't the same as usual. I'm sure there's stereotypes in here, but the Asian guy is not a ninja. The black guy isn't the smartest guy in the room, or a thug or something like that. All the characters on the team are not white, or in the book. It's a little bit changed with the times. There's some parodies of things going on in there. I poke fun at some characters that I really can't stand because they're overused as far as, I'm concerned in the industry. I think that there's a lot of them, and we poke fun at that stuff. I've got an awesome writer working with me who understands exactly what it is that I was going for. His name is Scotimus Prime X on DeviantArt. We've been friends since, I want to say, middle school. I don't know, there's just things, lots of things in this that I think you guys will dig. Because it's not your typical comic in the sense, that we've got, army and, everything is dark and everybody's got straps and guns, just like the portion of the 90s that most people didn't like. That's not what we're trying to do here at all. What you see here is the cover to issue 2. I've shown you a lot of sketches and behind the scenes stuff just so that you guys can get a feel for what the raw, what this stuff looks like in the raw. Hopefully you like what you saw. I need you guys to check me out on DeviantArt. That's lordnephilim.deviantart.com. I'm going to have that pop up below. Same thing with Scotimus Prime X. You can check him out on DeviantArt. We are going to have a Facebook page. Hopefully we'll do that, within the next month or so. We are working with Kickstarter. Kickstarter is a website that helps artists raise money for their projects. We need money for funding, or we need funding for printing costs and distribution costs. Right now we use a print-on-demand publisher, but if someone was to order them off of my DeviantArt site, I have to buy them and then send them to the person. So we're going to use Kickstarter to help us, raise some money, to also make the book look a little bit more fancy. I want to have at least 1 or 2 fancier looking issues of the book as far as paper and, maybe a hardcover version. Maybe even when we get to the end of all this, we'll be able to do a hardcover trade, of the entire first arc of War of the Gods. So yeah, I need you guys to, check us out. Once again, that's lordnephilim.deviantart.com. I did have a website or a webpage on DeviantArt for War of the Gods, but we actually haven't been putting as much stuff on that site as opposed to putting it on my DeviantArt page, the Lord Nephilim page. But I need you guys to check out this stuff, show your support. You might like what you see. This is not your run-of-the-mill stuff. We put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into it. I'm still putting a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into this. I have 2 jobs, and then this is like, my labor of love. So, check it out, show some support. Hopefully I'll see you guys at the cons, and, I hope you guys dig what you see, because, there's too much stagnation going on in the industry, and, rather than sit there and get reamed trying to get into the industry, which I didn't have this issue, I just didn't want to work with Marvel. I don't want to give these characters to Marvel and DC. I want to give these characters to the people and let you guys have something different to look at. Some, new heroes for you guys to be like, I want to be like so-and-so, or that guy is badass, So anyway, check out the book. Hopefully you'll like it. Check me out on DeviantArt and Facebook. All right, guys, I'm out. Peace.